sure, and I mean just that, be sure to hit that like button, share this content, let friends, neighbors know where to go when it's time. Tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Give you guys day 3 recap. No practice today, but Law Nation is on his way. Come on with it. 5, 4, 3. Yeah. Get down. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I appreciate everybody for rocking with me. Put a 1 in the chat if the audio is straight. My name is Law Nation. We talk Cowboys, football, and beyond. Out here in California, shout out to all of the Oxnard people. We've been having so far a great time at practice. Just smooth stuff all together. I just want to let people know that we have one injury update, and that is Terrence Steele, who have a high ankle sprain that, he's nursing that. So we got a chance to see other guys that's in the mix there. Hopefully that we can see something materialize and work its way out for the offensive line, especially heading into this season, the 2025 year. We all know that we are in a division that everyone is measuring what we do, how we do, and where we do things as it relates to this team. We didn't make the playoff last season, so there's a lot of constraints with that, Cowboy Nation. And when we start talking about this, where will the Cowboys finish out, right? We got a new coach, new defensive coordinator, new everything. It's a lot of newness to this team. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing. But what my eyes can tell you is that just yesterday when we was out there at practice, this running back room, we may not have a definitive running back, but you can clearly see that the run game will improve. It's more explosive. They run it with a purpose. You got your hammer, which will be Javonte Williams, and then you have your sparks, your flashes, and your thunders or your lightnings from a Sanders or to a degree Jadon Blue and Deuce Vaughn. So this could be a situation that work out well for us, Cowboy Nation. And there's two wishes that I've been saying for a long time. Can we run the ball, and can we stop the run? So looking at practice and being at camp, you don't know which one it is because we're doing it against ourselves and there's no pads, right? So think about this, if we can run the ball, that means that if we're going against practice, if we seeing us running the ball, that means we ain't stopping to run, right? So that's what we call a conundrum. And Blue Virus, what's up, man? He states, I like a clean house organization, and that's what the Cowboys did this year. I appreciate you, Murdoch. Appreciate you for jumping in as well. VA boys in the building, appreciations. And as well as King, I see you, fam, Morningstar. And Candace, thank you for being part of this as well. Neil, thank you for being over there on the Facebook. And Ice Cold Cowboy states, in Shoddy, we trust. Yeah. Most importantly, this team, as we head into this season, let's talk about a guy before we go into extreme detail. Let's talk about this right quick. Hold on. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Nick Harris.
Yeah, I got to give Micah and Trayvon credit because they're trying to beat Jerry at his own game, and that's negotiating with the media. We just got done talking to CeeDee Lamb, and he said, I understand what's going on here. I don't like the back and forth in the media and the negotiating with it, but that's part of it. He's like, I don't recommend it, but I get it. And, he's fully in support of Micah. But back.
Can y'all hear that? Put one in the chat if you guys can hear that. Let's get it. And that's Nick Harris. He was on 105.3 The Fan. And we're going to talk about this, and then we're going to get things going.
To the conversation from yesterday, from Micah's standpoint, it was the first time that I could really sense that there was doubt that he feels like a deal is going to get done. How much do I believe that he has doubt? I don't know about that. You still ask me, I still believe a deal gets done with Micah Parsons. Granted, the team has a lot of control in this situation. If they choose to, they can let him play out this final year and then choose to franchise tag him going into 26. But I still believe that a deal gets done here. It's just a matter of time and when. Micah said that David Mulugeta has reached out to the front office. He's awaiting on an offer and a call back. He said it's going to take a grown man to call him back and get the deal done. So definitely some shots being fired from Micah's side. And then on Trayvon's side, I wanted to ask him if he was surprised by that dock and pay, even though that clause in his contract, he knew about it, his agent knew about it. He said he was surprised. He said it hurt his feelings a little bit. And that's one where I maybe have to look at the front office's side of things and be like, hey, it was a clause in your contract. It's not an uncommon clause. Dak Prescott, Osa Digizua, CeeDee Lamb, they all had that same exact clause, and they were all here during the offseason. So, from one standpoint, I understand Trayvon wanting to work with his own specialist, his own trainer, so he knows his rehab is being done to his likening. But at the same time, you know what your contract looks like, dog. You gotta be able to honor that and expect the consequences that come with it if you don't. And one question that I definitely did want to ask Trayvon yesterday that I'm glad I got in, because I think there's some fan rhetoric that has built up over the course of the last 48 hours of, hey, when Trayvon gets healthy, does he demand a trade? And so I asked him, I said, are you still happy here? And he said, yeah, I'm still happy. I'm still happy with my brothers, with my teammates, wouldn't want to be anywhere else. So I thought that was a pretty interesting comment that he did make, just to kind of shoot down any concerns about him potentially wanting out at a certain time. But the leash is short for Trayvon Diggs. That's no question. He's going to have to really perform this year, or else we could be looking at Trayvon in a different uniform pretty soon.
No doubt. That is Nick Harris, man. Shout out to him and all that he's doing. One of the things that I want to just pretty much go over briefly would be that this team is a unit. You're saying that these guys, even though they fight each other, they got camaraderie with each other, and the competition is a real thing. And sometimes you get the best out of each other when you compete with each other. That's the craziest thing, but that's just how it is. Me and my brethrens, when we grew up, we absolutely competed each and every task. We competed, and this is what a team's supposed to look like, and that's what we're seeing here. And I appreciate you guys so much for being part of these type of conversations. A team, even when it's a contract dispute, even when it's a situation of who can do squats the most or who can bench press the most, this level of team and leadership and continuity and joint passion, man, it's going to take us a long way, Cowboy Nation. Yeah. Unlucky states, damn Diggs, it might be over for you. Hey, here's another thing that we know about the Cowboys. They talk about trades. They talk about this. They talk about that. But them brothers, they don't trade nobody. Outside of Amari Cooper for some a fifth-round draft pick, Matt Let's-go. And they use that as draft capital. So I don't think that Diggs going anywhere. Yolanda, what's good with you? Is there anyone at training camp? Saturday, I know for sure it's going to be slam pack. Saturday and Sunday, I know for sure. It's the weekend. It's going to be tons of people here. I recommend you guys get up here early. I recommend if you're coming out to Oxnard and you want to see practice, the real practice with the pads on, be here Sunday because that's when pad day is here. And normally you ramp up till you get to this point, but the Cowboys, the way they've been practicing, these boys been already ramped up and amped up to get out here. Jay Versick states, just showing some love, Law. Hope you're enjoying camp. Question, should the NFCC be the floor for this season? Cowboys, we say that we will be okay if we get to the championship game. We will say we will be okay if we can just get to the Super Bowl. the expectations for Cowboys, regardless of how you swipe it, regardless of how you slice it, the expectation will always be winning the Super Bowl, not going there to lose. Kudos and credence to the 49ers. They've been to the Super Bowl multiple times since the last time we've been to the Super Bowl. And they can talk about their marginal success with that. But I'm going to tell you guys, we don't want that. We don't want to just go to the Super Bowl to just say, yeah, at least this team is able to go there. We want to win it all. Now, that's an expectation, right? We can talk about, yes, feel-good story about going to the postseason. Remember, Mike McCarthy did that for us. It was very much so postseason, no postseason, postseason, no postseason when we had Coach Redball, right? So even Mike McCarthy, 3 consecutive years in a row, 12-5, 12-5, 12-5, and a lot of fan base, a lot of people within the confines of this fan base was very much so not satisfied, right? That's just how it goes. So getting to the postseason is not a major thing. Going to winning the division game is not a major thing. It's about getting to the Super Bowl and ultimately winning it. You know, that's just the bottom line. Is it fair? No. Fair? It's not fair. Life's not fair. So this is what it is. So it's just for what it is. And I wish we can have it something different, but
practice field and training camp, and how forward you are to looking to get the pads on?
It feels great. Today, I kind of felt like I had pass on. How we was out here bumping the ground and no. How was out here hustling? Let's just say that.
How's the knee feeling?
Feel great. I had a little incident where I bumped knees with another player, but other than that, it's straight. Like, I don't feel it. I feel like I never had an injury. 6 days a week. This would be 11 months. I put in the work. I feel great. Fantastic. No soreness, no aches, no nothing. I'm running, I'm hitting 22 miles per hour, 260. That should tell you there. So,
man, 22 miles per hour, 260 pounds. He's phenomenal. Shout out to my guy. The craziest thing of it all is that not just him showing up in camp. You got a guy that you drafted a year ago, Marshawn Nealon. Oh, my gosh, man. He's like 265, 275, and he just straight power off the edge. You got to like what he brings to the table. Yeah. I knew you guys were gonna get my guy. When he said bumping and grinding. I knew y'all was gonna get him. Man. I already knew.
I want me some glory hole.
I knew y'all was going to go that way, so it's all good. It's all good.
Nobody coming to see you, Otis.
But when you think of it's not just Sam. It's the entirety of the edge room that's looking real nice, y'all. And I'm really thinking that this team, we have a reservation as far as the interior. But, man, that exterior, we good.
Sean, you said you've been foaming at the mouth to get back on the field and
put
pads on. Just how excited have you been and looking forward to just being out here again?
I was patient. I took it in. I developed myself as a person, myself as a player. And I'm just grateful, man, that I have an opportunity to play again.
When you have that patience, do you have that because you're able to look forward to this moment? Or where'd you get your patience from during the process?
Just knowing I couldn't do anything about it but be patient. Me rushing the process wouldn't help me. I'm telling you, I went every day. I did everything Brett told me to do. The whole staff was phenomenal. I had that undivided attention. I mean, it was great. I felt like they was on me every day. They pushed me, especially when they kept giving me words of encouragement. Because sometimes I felt down, like, dang, especially OTAs, like, I was feeling good and stuff. So I'm like, man, I can do this. Just wait. And now, like, I'm here, I'm back. I'm like, man, it's just great, you know?
Yeah. And I feel you. My guy Daniel says I have concern with defensive tackle room. Yeah, we are thinner there. How's Winfrey's son, Oprah Winfrey's son, is doing phenomenal. Number 99 for your mind, he's doing a great job. And I guess the Cowboys just allergic to getting 350-pound people to do stuff. But we can surely find 305-pound guys to do things, and that's what we are. If we were to weight our defensive tackle room and compare them to the other defensive tackle rooms in the NFC East, I think we have the smallest defensive tackle room in the National Football League. We could have that, you know. I think Jay Toya is our biggest guy down inside, and he's a rookie, right? It can be a blessing or a curse. I mean, that's just how you got to look at it. You just have to look at it like that, and that's what it is. When you start thinking of like just in size in general, if we are thin, we fool around and get the lead. Team's gonna try to throw themselves back at it. We're going to be able to pin our ears back and get straight to the quarterback. And if they try to do a stretch outside run, I think that we will be able to get to the edge there and make those plays. Now, if a team is disciplined enough to just run it up A-gap continuously, we may have some counters to that, you know. Yeah, we got a thin interior, you know. And this could be look, trust and believe. If the linebackers know how to scrape, disengage, and get upfield, shoot and get upfield and fill those gaps, and teams are trying to run inside, I mean, we could talk about the reservations as it relates to defensive tackle to that degree that we don't have size. But we're looking for a big boy not to play 60 snaps anyway. You guys got to understand, Vince Wilfork didn't play 60 snaps. He's going to play about 30. So you're looking for a fat boy that's going to give you 30 snaps, 30 plays, basically. Crucial when it's time to lean in on the offensive line, right? I mean, we may be talking about the fact that we have issues up front, but we don't know yet. A lot of this stuff can be all schemed out, and it could be all systematically out. So don't worry about the defensive tackle. You can have reservations on it, but let's see it first before we declare that we can't stop the run. That's all I'm getting at. And kudos and credence to my guy right here, Sam Williams. And here's the craziest thing. We got edge rushers that really know how to set the edge and contain. Sam is one of them. Nealon is another. Donovan Ezaraku, he's a real downhill edge rusher guy. He had more than 40 tackles for loss. You don't get that by accident. And that's meaning that he stopped the running back before he gained a yard. He hit him in the backfield. So just pay attention to all of those small things, ladies and gentlemen.
There's some debate about who's more excited about this camp, you or CeeDee Lamb. I know you're going to say you, but why?
Me? It's just because it's an opportunity, you know, opportunity, you know, just to play the game, the sport I love, opportunity, you know, just to be with the brothers again, you know, because last year, of course, like most of the people that was here last year is not here, and I didn't really get to have that bond with them. But we got some new guys. Funny. I mean, like, I'm just happy. Like, I'm just happy to be here, man. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know.
Can you talk more about that mental challenge that you've dealt with over the last year and just getting back here? How does it feel to be gratified in that?
The mental challenge was accepting that I was injured, because I never been injured. You know, It was my first injury, major injury, first time ever been out for a season. And I just had to find something to do, with that time that I wasn't at football. So I started a clothing brand, athletic wear, men's, women's, coming out with the kids. It's called FTL for the family. And over that break, I started living what my brand speaks about for the family. So everything I've done on the off season, during the season, just to get back to this point, it's for my 2 little boys, my family. They depend on me, So every day I walk and I practice and I, study. I do all that for my family, you know what I mean? So I take the light off me and I look at them, even in my room in there, it's pictures of them. I wake up to them, I go to sleep to them because that's a reminder of why I'm doing this.
How has Charles Haley been able to help you?
He's been a good mentor. He crazy though. He crazy,
Yeah.
but he's been a good mentor. He's been slowly helping me. Like when I couldn't do the running things, we did hands. When I couldn't do hands, we did film. When he's just been there and teaching me.
No doubt, no doubt. So for the family, man, and then he said he's doing everything for those individuals. And keep in mind, we talk about servitude, right? And the greatest amongst you will always be a servant. And that's what he's showing. He's telling people, hey, I'm here, not just for me, but I'm here for the family. I'm here for this generation. And I wake up knowingly that I'm here grinding it out for them. And that's why we're seeing an uptick of maturity with Sam Williams, especially heading into a contract year, big year for him. And as well as a situation where I think, he signed with a new agency. So not Parsons, but Sam Williams and Parsons. Yeah, both of them guys going to be okay, especially dealing with this team heading into a year, whereas we know for sure that we need to have a quick turnaround. Someone asks, should we take a look at Linval Joseph? Linval Joseph, the most snaps that he's going to give you in a game is 10 to 15. If you need to depend on Linval Joseph for more than that, it's going to be counterproductive. I think that the Cowboys, if they want help at that defensive tackle, it's good to bring in a veteran, by the way. But someone as long as that tooth is about as long as Jay Leno's chin, I would say no to Linval Joseph. And if you're going to bring in someone, you can just at least spend the money, get a not Dalvin, but DJ Reader, right? Or figure out a way to bring in someone that's a little bit youthful that you know for sure that when you do your analysis that they can give you some results. Everyone have a reason, but results are what matter, right? It's just for what it is. And it's a long tooth, Jay Bursey. Yeah, that tooth so long. You give him an apple, man, that apple would mess him up, man. He'd be like, but y'all get what I'm saying. But far as this defense in general, last night when we was talking on the collective, we was going back and forward about offense versus defense, and we spent a ton of time on offense. But I'm just going to let you guys know I'm very excited about this defense because this defense showed up the other day, especially in the red zone drills. And I was sitting there on the sideline stating that, hey, do you think that this defense is a little bit ahead of the offense now? Because it showed Childress made an unbelievable INT. And I know you guys seen the INT that Malik Hooker was able to do. Number 43, Keemon Hall showed us some stuff by being able to get into the face of, dare I say, CeeDee Lamb and not folding up like a wallet nor a lawn chair. So those are things that we look at far as this defense. Now, granted, this is before pads, and normally offenses, from when I'm out here at camp, we whooping the defense tail when especially no pads. So the pads normally neutralizes everything, right? But now I'm saying like, shoot, no, this defense is giving the offense a little run for their money. And I can't wait for when them pads come on. Shoot, it's going to work out real good. Malik Hooker, INT, was nasty, and he had some bursts on that play as well. Yes. And then we seen Overshown overly running and celebrating. So It's a thing that when we look back at this team and we say, okay, the guys that's hurt, are they going to do anything? Are we going to elevate them earlier? Well, the guys that's recovering, that's a better way to say it. Or will these backup of the unknowns do something? And that's the bottom line. Appreciate you, Gary Canty. Shout out to you, Angie. Thank you, the Rebel Chick. Appreciate you. Ratio, thank you. Keemon, Keemon and them. Mozzie still getting pushed around, concerns me. The Mozzie thing, the D-line in general, when these pads come on, then we know. Because there's so many things how you shoot your arms inside, and you have target areas where you hit chest and then you move and you rip and disengage, right? So if I'm a D-line, it's all about where your feet, your slow feet don't eat, and your low man wins. So if I'm shooting off the edge, I'm making sure I'm getting inside, knocking out the way, or I'm trying to keep them up out of the cylinder and get them off of their marker. And it's a tricky subject matter when we say who is getting pushed around because there's no pads. But there are some indicators that when you look at and you say, okay, Mozzie, regardless of whether or not pads or not, he's slow to get off his ball and he's standing still too high, right? He need to crouch low and get upfield. We will see all of those technicalities Sunday if everybody can still stay in shape and all of this good stuff. You know what I mean? And then Monday. So hopefully we will be able to see those things. But historical data is really against us right now, against Mozzie, because his first two seasons haven't been something that you can run around and pour champagne bottles and drink Hennessy with. But, it is for what it is. One thing for sure, two things for certain. Dak mobility looks good. Yeah, and Dak ability to scramble a little bit keeps the defense honest. Now, when he do it, we all sitting there saying, hey, all right, cool, let's figure out another way. So I liken Dak Prescott to the mobility of a better mobile player than a Ben Roethlisberger down the stretch, right? Can he be as mobile as an old yellow teeth John Elway? We all remember to play him stretching and pulling and trying to get that touchdown. Is that the Dak we need? Yeah. We need a Dak Prescott to keep the team honest, defensively speaking. Nevertheless, Dak shouldn't have the time frame to do it because there should be one of these running backs that can be the relief person, the sink. They sit in the low area to be the escape hatch. It should be one of the running backs here. And speaking of Dak Prescott, let's talk about Dak Prescott. If I can pull this up, come on with it.
Excuse my voice. Taking steps from the offseason, that's what it was about. I mean, we had a great offseason, great OTAs and mini camps. So it was about taking another step, and I think we're headed in that direction. And honestly, not just the offense, the team. I mean, talking about Shotty, preaches, compete every day. And I think if you've watched these last three practices, the competition is high. The competition makes practice fun. It raises everybody's level and standard, and that's all you can ask for. So it's been a good 3 days. Not anything that anybody's complacent or content with, and we'll continue grinding, pushing each other, pushing ourselves, and knowing that that's the only thing that we can do right now is each and every day try to get better, 1% better, and understanding that's going to compound, and we'll put together a team that we're proud of.
Yeah, they're 1%, man, stacking good days on top of good days, just 1% at a time. And that compound, you know what I'm saying? It sounds like that Dak Prescott been listening to your boy, Like he said, he been following the channel for about 8 years now, But that's a whole nother conversation, But, 1% better. The 1% rule will work for him. And it will work not just for him, but for everybody. Come on with it, Cowboy Nation.
If you're a man over 30 who makes at least $150,000 a year and you're still embarrassed to take your
Yeah, you got to take.
One priority should be to get
out of here.
Practices where there's been fights, but it seems that almost every day so far there's something going on. How surprised are you by that? Was that a good thing?
I think it's a good thing. I don't think there's necessarily I mean, maybe one of them we had some punches going, but other than that, I mean, it's football. It's high emotions. You got guys out here practicing and competing for their life, competing for jobs. You've got to have that edge. I think that's a difference. That's the difference right there, is how passionate these guys are. I mean, they're being taught and being told to compete every day, and some guys compete different ways, right? And I think when you put that together at times, you're going to have those disagreements, you're going to have those frustrations, but they've been doing a good job of, for the most part, vibing each other up, looking in the face and realizing, okay, this is my teammate. I'm not going to take it there. And just as important as that, understanding that you can't take it there on game day either. So learning from it, controlling the emotions at the same time of being competitive. I mean, Coach says it all the time, we can be competitive without being combative. So I think it's a fine line, and I think we're flirting with it, and I think that's healthy.
Well, keep flirting with it, you know. At the end of the day, aggressions sometimes need to be implanted now. Because we've been such a nice guy type of thing, you know. Nice guys finish last. I mean, we get punched around, we get pushed in our back. And believe it or not, y'all talking about the superstar CeeDee Lamb and Kemon Hall. Man, I love that, because there's video evidence that when we was in the postseason, CeeDee Lamb get pushed in his back, and he didn't even give anything. Didn't turn around and didn't, say, hey, come meet me out. Come meet me after the game at least. So this is taught now that regardless of who you are, we're going to be in your face, and we're going to make it the longest 60 minutes of your life. This is going to be the longest 4 quarters of your life. And I want – and that's what made me say, yeah, because CeeDee Lamb showed that, hey, I'm ready to fight too. We never seen Lamb do that. Lamb always took the high road. And as well as, of course, Kemon, he's trying to make the team. But I like the drawing back and forth. I think that we're not finna be pushovers and continue to flirt. Yeah. Somebody put the lyrics down to where R. Kelly said what he gonna do. He gonna flirt, Well, my bad. I think that's the wrong message I'm gonna send out. Oh, my bad, y'all. But we gonna flirt.
Healthy. Obviously, we expected you to be full go, but just tell us how you feel coming off with the hamstring, the surgery in the off season, and we saw you take off a couple of times today. Just talk about it.
Yeah, man, I didn't. Took off or just ran? I mean, yeah, I said it, yeah. No, I feel good. Feel, like, as you said, healthy. It's been a long road to it. Obviously, it started last year during the season, so to be where I am now, it's just a blessing just to be out there on the field and feel healthy. A lot of work has went into it, whether it be with the team, Jim, Britt, those guys, or whether it be obviously Luke and all the time that we spend together. It's a blessing. It's something that I think about every time I step on that field, being thankful for this moment, staying where my feet are, not taking anything I do for granted, and understanding that I've got to continue to push. It's one thing to be healthy, but how much better can I get now that I'm healthy? And that's on the forefront of my mind. So, it feels good.
Yeah. Some people saying, let me get back to this real quick. It is good. This is good stuff, right? Salam, Chill Modi, appreciate you. Here's the truth of it. You want to show, when they say flirt with the ideal of aggressions, they want to do up until like if this is a marker, they want to flirt with it up until they get their first penalty. They want to do enough pushing and shoving and getting in the way of someone right up until they get to that point. There was a documentary done once, or it was one of those shows, and I think it was Bill Belichick. He was saying that basically, he teaches those DBs to be a little bit more grabby and aggressive, just to be a little bit more chippy. Get into the heads of the wide receivers, right? Because 9 times out of 10, these aficionados, they're not finna call back-to-back pass interference. They're not finna slow down the game that much. Now, we are the Cowboys. We may be hit with a different set of rules, but we can turn a 3-hour game into a 5-hour game, and they're going to change some of these rules. So that's what he's saying. I'm going to be aggressive all the way up until that point, that if they can call it, And I think that we've been such a nice team for all of these years. For the last 20 years, we've been considered a very nice team, a finesse team. Since I'll go all the way into this point. Since we had Wade Phillips, we've been a finesse team. How many years that's been? Since 2007, we've been a very finesse team. When you go and meet the Cowboys, you're thinking, yeah, they are a finesse team on both sides of the table. Now it's time for us to have that grit. Now it's time for us to say, okay, we're not finna help you up after we knock you down. We finna play through the echoes of the whistle. We finna showcase that we're gonna break necks, we're gonna bust skulls, right? And we're gonna spit on you, Yeah. We're gonna do all of those things up until that point. Cause we up until that point, we need to do that. Let's be that team. Let's be their aggressor.
Yesterday that he really missed being here last year, and he said he didn't really. It was afterwards he realized how much he missed, and just being on the same page with you. Just talk about what you guys miss him not being here last year, and the excitement of him being here and getting to make up those things.
Yeah, I don't really care to talk about last year in that sense. He said it there. It's something that we've discussed, whether it be just in free time or actually, we had good moments out in our receiver retreat. That he spoke to me about that, and just not only about what it meant or how it felt last year, but what it means for him to be here now and what he's going to be and the type of man and leader and player he's going to be. And it's evident. You look out there and watch him an individual, the way he's leading the receivers, watch him with GP and their interactions, or watch him with anybody else on the offense, and the way that he's carrying himself, and just as importantly, the way that he practices with his speed and his tempo and the urgency. That's a guy that's not taking any day being out there for granted. And yeah, it's a blessing having him out there and knowing that we can get better right now, and we don't have to wait until something's done. And we're really just stacking off of the offseason, the great offseason that we had, and super excited for what he's going to do and what we're going to do, and just the growth in our connection.
Dak, Todd Archer with ESPN. Last year, you and CD had your contract deal. This year it's with Micah. How do you guys deal? How did you deal with that? What do you think the best way to deal with that stuff is?
For many of us, photo enhancing is a tedious and long journey. Trapped in searching tools.
Photo enhancement. Be sure to check them out. Before we go in there, he's about to break this down. Y'all pay attention to this part. It's a good part.
I mean, it's an every year conversation. Whether it's myself, Zach Martin, CeeDee Lamb, now Micah Parsons. It's part of it in a sense. Now, it's something that I wish that any of us are going through. Absolutely not. But I think Mike is doing a hell of a job with it being here. He's a great teammate, showing up, obviously not just on the field and being focused, but whether it be in the camaraderie, hanging out, dinner. He's not just doing it to sign off and say, hey, Jerry, look at me. But he wants to be out there practicing. And honestly, I'm glad he's not. He can't do that to himself. That's the business of it, and that's the business of a holdout. So I do think he's taken some great steps of being here. I don't know him, to be honest with you. I will say that I think he deserves to get paid, think he should get paid, and ultimately, if I'm going off of the history of what I've seen, he will get paid. Hopefully it's sooner than later.
Hopefully it was sooner than later. Talking about Parsons, that this is not like a dog and pony show. He's literally saying, hey, these guys, they're going to get paid. They should get paid. They're not doing this for show. They absolutely mean what they're doing with camaraderie, going out with each other and these sorts of things. So it's good. Yeah, go ahead and pay that man. And also with the I don't know if I got my dog over here. I don't know my dog. I don't got no dog. Yeah, I got my dog over here. Down. Let's listen to the rest of this.
With the offense and the changes and stuff, Shawty's talked about not being static and a lot of motion and movement. What does that do for you?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, obviously it uncovers the defense. Yeah, it gives us the tells that we need to help us create matchups on certain plays, gives us access when that's what we're looking for. So I think it just depends on when the movement happened, what's the purpose of the movement and within the play. And, yeah, it's something that's going to help us out a lot, but it's something that we've also just got to make sure that we're not just living only in that, you know. Got to get up there and snap it sometimes as well, and that's kind of been the point of using that is you don't know really when we're going to motion, when we're not, when we're going to hit you with something fast. So it's just another great weapon.
Absolutely. Cowboys been predictive. The tendencies been very much so that we all know what the Cowboys is going to do on any given Sunday, Monday, Thursday. So this is good to be able to just have these things all on the same page. And for the life of me, I don't know why Mike McCarthy didn't like motions. That was just the weirdest thing ever. Shout out to Sadiq. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for being a member for 55 months. Lord, thank you for sharing with us from Oxnard. Thank you so much, Sadiq, and we really appreciate you so much for your support and your love and adulations. Hope all is well with you and family.
John Machota with The Athletic. Where do you think everything's at with you and George Pickens on the field? How much more do you think that you guys need to do to get to where you want to be? And CD talked a little bit yesterday about how there's parts of George's game that we haven't even seen yet out on the field, like high pointing the ball and things like that. Do you think that's all to come, or just kind of where do you think it's at?
Yeah, I think that's all to come. I don't think that's necessarily like something we've got to grow into. I think more so than anything, it was just the first red zone day. I think if, we doubled the number of reps we had in there today, you would have seen one or two of them. And I just think that's going to come with who he is, the matchups that we're going to get. Hit him on a great, nice little out route there, right? And so they want to start sitting on that. You're going to see, the jump balls that CD's alluding to. And for him, it's just about continuing to master the offense, the routes, and the adjustments on certain routes. And when he does that, the rest of it's going to come. And so that's important for all of us. I mean, the guys hadn't been here too long, so it's just about making sure he feels comfortable in the system and knowing what he has, and whether him catching the ball and that connection. I've said it before, when you're an elite player like him, you create separation. That makes that whole deal easier.
No doubt. So John Machota asked a very great question there with George Pickens. Yeah, there was not a lot of opportunities for him to have the 50-50 jump ball, right, or the 60-40 jump ball, however y'all want to look at it, 70-30, however you feel the way that he can high point the ball. Now, this is the first week of practice, and we ain't talking about a game. We're talking about practice, and he's talking about reps. But I would tell you that, this defense looked like it kind of whooped and stomped out the offense in that red zone drill situation. But we will find out when the pads come on. We'll see how things look from that aspect. But I'm not worried or weary about Pickens and the route choices of what they're trying to connect with. Remember the one rule that I've been saying, 1% better. That's what we're looking for.
Obviously, the energy has really been noticeable.
Nothing is going to happen in this video. Just this tranquil scene.
At practices, and after you guys get done stretching, you do that thing where you run through those pads, and you seem like you really bring a lot of energy, like you're really excited for the guys to get them going during that portion. how much do you feel like that you need to kind of be one of the guys that's also like, hey, I'm not just going to be the 10-year veteran. I'm going to bring some of this energy too?
I think that's who I am as much as anything. I don't think it's like, oh, I've got to do this. I think what I have to do is be myself and have.
Yeah, on the mic headset, it's not going to be. I got a booster on this video, so if I take the booster out, that's why Dak's voice is sounding louder. That's just why it just to the highest it can go. But on YouTube, you can boost with this extension. You can boost sound. So this is what it sounds like without the booster.
Have fun at practice and enjoy my teammates. And
this is what it sounds like with the booster on there.
Honestly, I was told not.
So that's why it sounds like his volume is such higher. But I want to give you guys a chance to hear exactly what he's saying. So that's why the audio from the video is going to always be a whole lot higher because it got an equalizer booster on it.
Not to do those drills, just from health. So, hell, I'm not about to sit there, cross my arms and watch them. Like, the whole point of the drill is to get some juice going and to get the guys going and get our energy high to start practice. So if I've got to be the hype man, that's what I'm going to do. It's probably why I'm losing my voice is that's how we start practice. I'm just screaming for no reason. So it's important because, as I said, it's who I am. And I'm never going to be just the old guy sitting back. You know what I mean? And that's that just rolls into on the field and that connection to the guys and the trust. They understand that if I was young and spry, I would be doing everything. You can't keep me from a rep. So, it's important for me just to support my guys in any chance that I get. Spry, right?
Building on the mobility conversation, how are you able to balance the context of the injury you suffered last year with also not wanting to limit aspects of your game that have worked for you?
Yeah, I think it's about trusting the rehab process, which I have. But then, as I said, now being healthy, it's about how can I get better. I can't say, okay, the hammy's good and I don't need to run anymore. Well, no, I need to continue to be pushing, running. I need to continue to do things that has gotten me to this point, gotten my health to this point, because it's only going to get me healthier and it's only going to allow me to do the things that I want to do during the season throughout.
Call me crazy, but Dak looked like he's a little bit more healthier this year than any other season that I've seen from a facial aspect. You can see more of the definition in his face. It looked like he's more leaner. Rate distribution is the main thing. We'll see, like he was saying, that we're going to condition up to the point where the hamstring is good, but let's not just cut it off from that aspect. Let us continue to condition so that it can alleviate future hamstrings or whatever it may be. What diet do I need to be on so I won't have soft tissue issues? Maybe I need more flaxseed oil in my diet. I don't know, but it appears that he's more in shape now. Now, granted, I'm going to say this again, everyone have a reason, but the results are what matter, right? So we're still waiting for the results. I get it, I get it.
The season and obviously limit any risk of anything else or re-injuring anything. So it's about working and honestly working without that injury in my mind. Great doctor, great, obviously, Luke and great team with Britt and the guys that have me to where I am is just continue to trust the process and continuing to improve not only on my game, but just in the health and understanding everything that goes into it, whether it be the sleep, the nutrition, all the recovery mobilities. I can't take a day off, and, I don't. And I'm thankful that, I have all those resources and have the means to do everything that I can and to make sure that I'm feeling well and feeling as good as I am now.
You were here last year whenever Sam Williams had his injury, and I'm sure you guys had some days.
At California Virtual Academy,
commercials.
We prepare students like yours.
YouTube Premium, man. I need to get YouTube Premium over here. Yeah, I know. All right, so with that being said, Cowboy Nation, appreciate everybody for no days off. Wife got this man doing stuff. I feel y'all, the minute Dak makes a mistake, it's the get rid of Dak. He's trash, bull, sugar, never seen, oh my God. Yeah, I feel you, man. Add to. But, man, we in Texas, man. So Texas is different. It's a state that we got to look back on and say, the Cowboys been dominant and winning for a lot of the years, right? So when you haven't seen the aspect of winning the last 30 seasons, I'm not giving people right to hate Dak Prescott, but people are going to take any slander, anything that they can use to pin the tail on somebody, right? And so far, Dak will be donkey. Premium is the way, Angie says. I'm shout out to all of the YouTube premiums. YouTube, man, hey, hook a brother up with the premium sides of things. But here's my thoughts on Dak Prescott in general. And I see somebody, hey, all of the Dak glazing is crazy. I mean, it's no different than when I turn on the TV and I'm looking at, people saying, and it'll circle all the way back to me over here on the Instagram. People hit me up talking about, what's your thoughts on if Cam Newton, is he better than Jalen Hurts? That whole saga thing. And I get it. Eagles fans will say that Jalen Hurts is better than Cam Newton. But I'm going to tell y'all, if you pick up a prime Cam Newton and put him on the Eagles last year, I'm quite sure he would have him a ring. He would have him a ring. And when you have Ryan Clarks of the world and all of these people that's on a 3-ladder and a 4-ladder network, that Cam Newton team didn't have an A.J. Brown, nor a Smitty, nor a Jalen Carter, nor a kind of caliber of interior guys like a Jordan Davis, right? And we can talk about back and forth about this and that, but they didn't have a Saquon Barkley is what I'm getting at. So you got to quantify all of those things of weapons that it took for Jalen Hurts to win a championship ring. Just to liking us, the Cowboys. If you put a healthy Dak Prescott on the Eagles, I'm quite sure he would have been able to win them one. But people don't look at it that way, Will Greer got a ring? I don't know. Do Will Greer got a ring? I don't know. Scam Newton, I'm a Bama fan. Yeah, and I'm salty. Shout out to Scam. Scam. Law, do you watch Big Country for the facts only sports? No, but you can send him my way, Ron Leaf. Thank you as well. They mock him just to watch him. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, let's be real, let's be real with everything, It gets down to Cam is the organization. Let me see what we got here. Cam is the Cam is the original rush pusher, okay, push in the middle. I mean, it is for what it is, I get it. I don't think that people should be angry and upset at people's opinions, but people love to take Super Bowls and look at it as an isolated situation, like this is a situation, whereas this is tennis or golf and all of these things, Will Greer was a part of the Eagles last year. I didn't know that. So shout out to Will Greer with his ring, Threw him a glazed football and he caught it with his mouth. Hey, man, that's crazy. Trey Maddox, that's crazy. Yeah, so the Cowboys, we got to look at it from this aspect. And I get it. You can't teach everyone simple thoughts. Win a game without only relying on your quarterback. Learn to win games as a complete team, then we'll be further than where we are. We continue to fight each other about stuff that we can't change. But what we can do is pull ideas together and say, how do you win with him? Okay? What do you need in order to win with him? Because fortunately, he's going to be here for another 3 years or another 2 years, however you want to look at it. So how do you win with a George Pickens, a Lamb, and a running back attack with 4 running backs basically? How do you win with a young offensive line that needs to be able to stop people from getting pressure from the inside? And can we have the penalty machines to stop on the outside? How can we win in those ways? Is the way that you need to look into it. So you heard T.O. go, and I think all of that stuff, because Cam Newton, of course, he called out Terrell Owens. And he said that Terrell Owens had always had issues with his quarterbacks. So I get that. And he said he didn't want to go into those details. And he talked about the fact that Gilly, and shout out to Gilly. I know that he's been good in the music space and promoting his podcast. $1 Million Worth of Game is phenomenal, right? But he said some facts about him, like none of these people right now can tell me, yeah, that Gilly album, man, that man go hard. You know, he spoke truth. And then Ryan Clark, he brought up the individual stuff, and then there are tons of people saying that, hey, Ryan Clark got him a Super Bowl ring though. So it's just one of those things, whereas you will have to just take it on the chin, right? And let people have their opinions on things. But let's be real. We like Jalen Hurts from a skill set, from a quarterback, the ability to run and be multiple. But at the same time, he's not doing something that's such a unique way, whereas it shadows or it's overly clear that he's better than Cam Newton. No, it's just that Cam Newton played on a team that wasn't equipped like the Eagles. I think that they had probably a 2 to 3 year good run, and the rest was history. And we all know that his biggest spotlight and his best spotlight was when they played in 2015. Yeah. Nobody takes Gilly seriously. Yeah. And Dre Mattis said Cam spoke no lies, right? Gilly sounds like he needed some tea. Yeah. So it's just for what it is. Tax states that if he was Dak, he would have resigned. He wouldn't have re-signed, I guess. You know, he would have went to the Pittsburgh Giants, Cleveland, etc. And the white Cowboy fans hate Dak for real. I try not to steer the channel that way, but what I would say with Dak Prescott, I don't think that no one will walk away from $250 million of what the Cowboys are willing to pay him, right? It's two sides to every coin. And when you look at the coin that Dak Prescott is getting here, it's a whole lot prettier to the other side that he probably get in Cleveland. He probably get less hate. He probably get less vicious people going at him at Pittsburgh and beyond. But the coin that he's getting, and I'm not saying that he's doing it only for the money, but let's be real. If you're a competitor and you like to compete, put me on the biggest and the brightest of the stage, and that's the Cowboys. You know, if he's getting a chance to win once, you can win 3 Super Bowls elsewhere and win one with the Cowboys. People forever going to talk about that one Super Bowl you won with the Cowboys, right? And that's just how it is, unfortunately, fortunately. So I think that pressure is a privilege, and he understands the terrain, and he wants to stay here and try to figure out ways to get a win. Yeah, so that's just all it is. Think about this, though. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Gilly sound like a burnt-up hallway full of Avestas, man. Y'all crazy, man. Normally, I will open up the phone lines. At this point, I don't have that set at this time. I can try to do a trial run and seeing if I can get it going. If y'all can bear with me, and let me see if I can do this. If y'all can bear with me. And we'll see if we can get y'all thoughts on this. Let me see. Diabolical. Y'all funny. All right, boom. One of the mods, y'all gonna have to put the phone number in the chat, and I'll pin it to the top of the deal. Let me see. Yeah, we'll see if we can get this. Yeah. About right here? About right here. Too loud? Too high? I know I killed your eardrums. What about now? Yeah. Mic check. It's perfect. Sounds good. Sounds good. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Y'all let me know. I know y'all I know y'all ears killing right now. All right. What about now? Mic check. Mic check. I told y'all. Yeah. Let me pin the number to the top. 657-390-7391. Let me see if we got anybody on the hotline for your mind. All right, and we could go right here.
Yeah, I just wanna run it up. Count a check or something.
All right, like I said, I'm doing a test run on this one, man. Smoke, can you hear me? All right, let me see. Can they hear you? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear Smoke 1 for you in the chat. Yeah, we're testing it out, building the plane as we fly. So I can hear you. I don't know if they can hear you yet, but what you got for me today, man? Mm-hmm. Yeah. They hold tight. They say they can't hear you. All right. So hold on. Let me see what I can do. Say something now. Yeah. I'm gonna have to figure out the phone line. They can't hear you. It can't hear you, Smoke. But yeah. But I was trying to build a plane as we fly, and I know I'm probably killing their ears now. But I appreciate you, man, for trying. Yeah, no doubt, man. I get with you later, bro. All right, no doubt. All right, so that experiment didn't experiment well. Let me see.
Count that too, count it up. Lately, I just wanna run.
Yeah, that didn't work out well. So I'm gonna figure out how. Let me see how. Desktop and there's no echoes, right? You guys can hear me pretty well. All right, so what about now? Can y'all hear me good this way? Yeah. Loud and clear. Yeah. All right. We'll figure out the phone lines down the stretch. You sound like you in your studio at the home now. Okay. So it's loud as hell. Okay. I'm busting your eardrums. Yeah. What about now? Ouch. Ouch. All right, y'all. I done messed up the sound for today. But what we going to do is we going to get on up out of here. One love, DC for life. Not for short. Appreciate